Hi, I'm Michael Citron with the Parkland Parrot Real Estate team at RE/MAX Park Creek. Today we're coming to you from another one of our online videos on the 3 P's to selling your home in 2018. So we already discussed the first P, which is price. The second P is product, and now we're going to discuss promotion. So if you want to see the other 2 videos that we did on price and product, you can look at that in the bottom of this video in this segment that we have. So discussing promotion, after you get your house, the price, the right price. We meet with our clients, we discuss the price, what's the best price. I tell sellers I never want to leave any money on the table, so we really want to price it not too high, but not too low. So after we decide on the right price to entice the most amount of buyers and get the top dollar for our client, we then talk about the product itself and getting the home ready for sale, and then getting the photos and the videos and all the great things that we do to really enhance the saleability of the property. And the final thing is, I call it the ammunition, taking this amazing videos and photos and everything that we take from the listing itself and promote the property out there, really create a buzz. I want to put it where every buyer who's thinking about buying, or maybe doesn't even think about buying but sees the ad, is enticed by it. It's like, wow, great house, great price, great listing. Look at these photos, look at this video. That's the kind of attention it needs when you're in the market to sell a property. That's what kind of buyer we're looking for. Somebody who's really ready to pull the trigger. And those type of buyers are willing and able to pay top dollar and close fast. And that's what we're looking for in today's market. So when you put your house on the market, it needs to have a customized marketing plan. I look at properties every day for buyers, and I see photos online. The agent obviously just took the photos on a smartphone, an iPhone, whatever kind of device they're using quickly. It doesn't do the house justice. I would say right now in the market, 30 to 40% of homes that are shot with an iPhone camera. It's terrible to say that. In the business, I really truly believe that every home deserves a professional photographer, but they're not. And then less than, I think it's like 10% of the listings have videos. So our listings are HDR photography, professional photos. We take 50 to 60 photos that can be put on the multiple listing service that gets syndicated out to all the websites. And then we do a detailed video, branded one, that I'm in presenting the property as the expert in your local market, as well as we do a non-branded video that agents can then send to their clients without my information on it, so they can be able to see all the unique features of your home. So it's really important when you list your house that it's got to have a marketing plan. We put it in writing. We actually detail it uniquely to each house that we're selling, and we put that together before we get to the listing appointment. And while we're there, as obviously seeing the house in person, we're going to notice things that we didn't know by seeing it on a virtual perspective. So when we get to your house, we come up with this really unique marketing plan of action that we put together for you to really show you. We back it up with in writing. So it's not we're just going to throw it up on the MLS and be passive. We're going to be active and aggressive and market your property to the masses. So it's really important when you're hiring an agent, these are the things you need to be looking for. So creating that buzz is what we're looking to do, but the marketing plan entails 3 different angles. Call it like the digital virtual avenue of marketing, the actual listing itself and how it's put on the multiple listing service, as well as the print marketing. Those are the 3 things, and and then the final thing, I guess the 4th, would be actually accompanying all the showings. So the promotion of the property, you're there to promote the house. So if I digitally and virtually have it on every single website, it's syndicated to every major website. We're featured on Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, RE/MAX, Parkland, Parrot, all the major websites that buyers are looking for properties, as well as Facebook ads, where buyers might not be just geared to looking, but they get that ad, they see it on their feed, and they're enticed by it. They see this amazing video, and we even do smaller videos, so they're not that long, and they just grab the major selling features of your property, and a buyer's drawn to it. They click it, they want to see it, they're engaged in the property, and we want to keep them engaged throughout the process. So it's really important to understand that we have all of these avenues. So the digital is going to be on all the marketing mediums. It's going to be a coming soon listing. So we're creating this buzz before we even get it on the market. So we're already marketing properties before they're even listed. And then once we have all that pre-marketing and marketing all the websites, it goes on the multiple listing service. So it's really important that, as I said, all these HDR photos and videos, because when we put that property on the multiple listing service, it gets syndicated out to the world, to every major website, is taking that information that we're entering, all the videos, the photos, the detailed property descriptions, the floor plans, the surveys, the from the seller's perspective, where the seller writes a letter to the buyer telling them why they love the homes. All those things get put on the marketing that gets syndicated out there, that's downloadable by the agent, and their client and their families and whoever's looking at the property. So these are the important things that create a buzz to a buyer that really entices them to want to look at your property. So the other item that we do is the print marketing. And we, obviously, if you live in Parkland, you get our squawk report. We send it out to every single Parkland resident in the Coral Springs section of Heron Bay. So all of our listings are featured there. We do detailed, large postcards that get sent out to your neighbors. Because I always say, if somebody's looking to buy in a neighborhood, they're going to want to know somebody in that neighborhood. They may know somebody, or if a party's going on, or somebody sees a sign, or the neighbor said, hey, the listing down the street's on the market. Maybe you want to tell your agent to take a look at it. These are things to, again, create a buzz. And I say, I want to create a buzz wherever a buyer may be looking for a property. It might be at a party and they go in the neighborhood like, wow, I love Parkland Golf and Country. I never thought about buying here. And then the person living there is like, oh, wow, you should use Michael. Here's the squawk report. Here's a beautiful postcard. So wherever the angle is, I don't want to miss a buyer. And then finally, the agent should accompany the showings. A team member of ours will accompany every showing of our listings. We're the experts. We live here, we play here, we work here. So what better person to be able to show you why it's important to live in this city, why it's important to live in this neighborhood, and particularly this beautiful home that you're going through. We know it, we live it. So what better person than the actual listing agent and company? Because in this business, I got to assume three things. The agent that the buyer's coming with knows nothing about Parkland, knows nothing about the neighborhood. I just got to assume that I do my job better. Then the second thing is the buyer who's going to look at the property, they're maybe not the only decision maker. Maybe mom and dad or a relative or an in-law is going to be a decision-making person that might not see the property. So it's even more important to have this great promotion and great product where they can see the photos and the videos and be engaged in the property to show their family, go forward, move, it's beautiful, get it, go, and that's what we're looking for. And finally, that appraiser. Think about all this promotion, all this product, price. At the end of the day, the actual appraiser is going to be the one dangling the keys at the end. So it's important to have this great presentation with the upgrade list, with the floor plan, survey, elevation certificate, seller's perspective, showing all these details and this ammunition, as I call it, to give that appraiser at the end of the day. So realistically, when you're thinking all these things, your head might be spinning. It seems so easy to sell a house today. I just call up an agent. Maybe it's my friend's wife who in the car line that just got a real estate license, but it's not. People think of real estate so much differently than the actual, going to a lawyer or a doctor or your financial advisor. I wish people would look at real estate like that, because in the end of the day, it's your largest financial asset. You wouldn't have your kid go to a dentist that took scissors out of the drawer to work on his teeth. Why would you do that with an agent taking an iPhone out of their pocket to take a picture of your $800,000 listing? Please be informed. Ask the right questions. Virtually interview your agent. Interview him before you even think about hiring your friend's wife who just got her license. Really be engaged with the agent that's really an expert in your field, that knows the market well. We have a plan of action. We sell our homes between 1% to 2% of our listing price. We're selling homes in 30 days to 47 days or less. I mean, we're elevating our credibility by doing this for our clients. And in the end, they're so much more happier. And we understand it's an emotional experience selling and maybe possibly buying. And we did so many deals this year where the clients sold with us and then bought at the same time, and they didn't rent in between. So there's so many great things that we're doing. We want to earn your business and trust in 2018 by providing these educational videos. Hey, if you don't even use me, at least you have information to ask the agent. Put them on the spot and say, this is what Michael and the Citron Real Estate Group do, Parkland Parrot do. Can you do this? Will you do this? Because if they won't do it, please call us. 954-609-0591, or if you're thinking of selling your home, go to our website, Designed for Home Selling, at myparklandhomevalue.com. I look forward to earning your business and trust in 2018. Thank you so much.